me if you guys can hear me. Yes, you see the couch there. You see the couch right there. And let me see if this is open yet. Let me go on ahead and go to my YouTube account. See if this is working for you guys. I see some people in the chat room. How many people do we have? Okay, it hasn't updated yet. It's all good. But yeah. Oh, okay, good. Let me see if anyone else is going live. I'm going live. Good. All right. See the couch right there. All right, good. 7 people in here. It's all good. We're going to start this broadcast the right way, as you guys can see. And tell me if you guys have any sort of interference. I'm just doing this from the couch because I'm just being lazy right now. I'll be honest. I'm being lazy. It's been a good day at work, but it's been a long day. Sort of battling, hopefully not the flu or whatever. I'll get it checked out eventually. But yeah, I'm glad for all of you guys who are in here, for all you guys who sub to my channel via O'Shea through Jackson. I really appreciate it. Welcome to my layer, as I like to call it. And we can't do the layer right without this. Hold on. Let me do this right quick. Since a lot of the pro wax love to call me pretentious, let's just go on ahead with the gimmick. Now, okay, now we're right. Now we're good. Shout out Don Calypso in the building. All right, 12 of you in here, it's good enough. So, for all of you who have been watching recent events and recent things that have been going on within the world in general, I'm assuming all of you are aware that 2020, or the 2020s itself, is going to bring with it a lot of ups, a couple of downs, or depending on who you are, a lot of downs. Maybe a war here or there, maybe a recession here or there, maybe a good Call of Duty game for once, maybe definitely a couple of things that we grew up with being ruined, like Star Wars. I know a lot of you guys are Star Wars fans who are watching out there. Okay, maybe not a lot, but for all of you who were Star Wars fans, I'm RIP because that movie was garbage, and I can't believe I paid $5 to see it. I mean, I waited to Matinee Tuesday to watch it, $5, and I still got ripped off. Especially since I didn't pay anything to see Endgame. I got that for free. But in any case. Jaegers for the weekends. Jaegers are for the weekends. But let's get into this topic. Tell me why. Well, before you tell me why, these recent events of war, chaos, looming war for Iran, which if all of you don't know, one of the general of the Iranian army, I believe. His name is Soleimani. I know that's what his last name is. He was killed a few days ago by a drone strike during his trip to Baghdad. According to what Donald Trump said, he wasn't there for some humanitarian mission, but instead was there to plot with some people in Iraq on how to attack Americans, such and such. Yeah, the list goes on. So obviously, POTUS, Donald Trump said, well, we needed to kill him, even though there have been multiple times and opportunities where past presidents such as Bush and Obama were able to go in there and kill him, but didn't, mainly because of the backlash they feared in the Middle East. Well, this backlash, and a lot of people thought it was yesterday with, what was it, a couple of missiles striking an Iraqi base. Oh, that's not the backlash. I can tell you right now, that is no backlash whatsoever. That's going to be nothing compared to whatever backlash is coming around the corner. And I'm not going to say there's going to be a war. I'm not going to say war is imminent. War is coming in like 2 weeks from now, but there's something that's coming. And you all better believe that whatever's coming, along with the so-called recession fears that a lot of people have been talking about. Between those two things, and a couple of other things I can point out, I can't believe a bunch of fan-base kids, non-select guys, whoever, a bunch of pookies and thinking black men. I can't believe you all, still to this very day, are arguing about, does it take game? Does it take swag? Who has swag? Who doesn't? Who is select? Who isn't? I'm like, nah. Why are we arguing over this? Why are we debating over this? Why are we having 5-hour panels? Man, I told you a few weeks ago, I told you guys, come 2020, do not make me make 8-hour hangouts about people who make 8-hour hangouts. Because if I do, you aren't going to like me. If I do, all you guys do those hangouts, particularly when it comes to these women, you all are getting cooked. You will get roasted. And I consider you guys allies, co-employees, co-workers in this thing called the manosphere. And in this red pill community, if you want to call it that. You guys, I have respect for on the online level. I have even met one of you on the internet, or on the internet, in real life. And he's not the kind of guy who worries about women all day. I'll tell you this. The guy who I met on the internet, 2 clues. 1, he owns his own business, and 2, light-skinned supremacy. That's all I'm going to give you the clues on who I met with. I collaborated with him before on the internet, online, on YouTube. But look, as far as this is concerned, 2020, you guys are still worried about some damn daggles, some damn swag, about how much swag do you need, how much juice, Negro juice do you need, according to, well, shout out those who Duke Jackson. He came up with the term. And if you haven't, one of my mods put in the link for the latest, the latest Sunday Rumble where I was featured. And for all of you who are just learning about my channel through him, shout out to you guys. Shout yourselves out in the chat. And yeah, but you guys who are worried, one, about if you need game, if you still need game, if you still need swag, if you still need to be select, who select, by how much, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter at all. Yeah, that's right, Don Calypso. That doesn't matter at this point. But because, look, we got Iran to worry about. We got an economy to worry about, an economy that looks good, but a lot of people say is in a recession. In some industries, some people say it already is. And I guess since a lot of people go by the stock market, even though a majority of Americans do not own any sort of stock, or especially any sort of stock that's enough to live off of, people are worried about what the stock market says. And if you're in a recession due to that, I mean, no, that isn't how the world works. That isn't how Main Street especially works. I'll say this. If you, like myself, went to one of the big box stores yesterday, you all went to Sam's Club yesterday like I did, and when I got to the end of the line, there was no line, or when I got to the checkout, there was no line, you can argue to say that we're in a recession. And this is a Monday morning. Now, I get it. It's January, and this is probably the reason why I like to go shopping in January, is because nobody's at the mall. No one's at the stores. No one. I mean, like, everyone splurged all their money. Everybody had a bust night in December. They splurged their load all in December. And now in January, they're all counting pennies. While your man's in them, he didn't spend anything on, was it Black Friday? Now, I didn't even go to the malls this year on Black Friday. I usually go to the malls just to walk around, maybe get something to eat at the food stand, at the food court, but not even this year. I was like, I have better stuff to do that Friday. I had better things to do. Even Cyber Monday, I didn't shop for anything. And I still have a couple of things on my list to go for that I would like to get, but to be honest, the sales sort of sucked. So some people can argue, well, yeah, the sales suck. It means we're in a great economy. Trump's economy, 2020. Well, I'll be honest. The economy is as good as it's been since I remember. I mean, it's better than it was in most of the 2000s and 2010s. I'll give you that. I'll give Trump that. But other than that, what he's doing outside the country with foreign policies, geopolitical stuff, I'm sorry. You guys should be worried about much more things than worried about being select, non-select. And let me get on a couple of individuals who I talked with on the Sunday Rumble. But I couldn't because, the usual suspects had to make their names known and go back and forth for like the 40th time or 400th time. I mean, no hate towards those guys, but still, I was the one leading the panel, not you. You have all the time in the world, and especially with the guys you're arguing with, hosting their own panels every hour of every day. Trust me. I didn't stay up, but I saw at 11:30 my time, Pacific Standard Time, this Dozier. Not even Dozier, beyond a Dozier. This freaking baby kid, this grown-ass baby kid, having my name in his mouth. And it was 11:30 Pacific Standard Time. So imagine what time it was, where he was. And now you have the synthetic. You know who Synthetic is. We all know who Synthetic is. She had my name in her mouth earlier today. But at the very least, the below Dozier at least kept his video up. I mean, you can't find that Synthetic's video up. I saw it. Shout out to my sources who notified me that they were talking trash about your dude. And they're like, oh, I bet Xanatos has a white mother. He has a white mother, just like G. Lolly had a white father. Bunch of mutts and half-breeds and Let me tell the pro whack squad something. I see we have 41 people here. I see. I'm going to open the panel up, and let me put the open panel optional. So for anyone who wants to get on here, and especially in the big shot guys, if you're Manosphere certified, if you're Manosphere a colleague, feel free to give me an email if you want to hop on here, because it's going to ramble for a bit and then hop off. But yeah, any of you pro whack guys out there who want to involve me in your little beefs and your little examples of whatever, save the time and save the breath, because I, unlike some individuals, do not care for the community. The community is finished. The community is done for. And as far as that's concerned, why should I even debate with you? I'm not the individual who is lamenting over what happened in high school. I went to proms. Maybe not my prom, my high school prom, but I was invited to proms in other places. I didn't have to ask a couple of girls out in order to get invited to proms. I was invited myself twice. I'm not the one who's clamoring for the BET uncut chick, the typical BET uncut chick who's built, who's fine as you know what, and to wake up in a white picket fence and some all black suburb where you can hear the birds chirping instead of the cop car buzzing. That doesn't happen. That is incongruent. That is a dead dream. And a lot of you guys out there who don't realize that, I don't know what to say except you guys are on the road to being finished. You guys don't know what's up. I mean, when you have a panel or a hangout named SYSBM, and yet when I get on there, by the time I get on there, you're putting up April Mason videos, Oprah Winfrey Network videos, a bunch of damn daggles talking about, man, this guy ain't shit, man. We need struggle love, and we need community. Need to help us. Our man need to help us because we's getting cooked out here in the market. And girl, I don't want to hear that. I'm done with dealing with the community. Now, if there are a group of of thinking black men and even black women who are cooperative and are willing to help yours truly, then I'm willing to help. I'm willing to put one foot in. But for the most part, these individuals within the community, at best, it's all about what you can do for them. And at worst, it's all about what they can take from you. That's how the community operates. And yet, you have these individuals talking about, oh, well, why are these daggles talking to us? And everyone hates black men. And no, don't hand me that bullcrap. You can save it. Save it for the Dozers. Save it for the Bamas. Save it for those who want the Tatiana dream. Because that's what a lot of you are seeking. I'm going to make, someone remind me to make a future video. The Tatiana dream. I actually did a video referencing the Tatiana dream. It was like one of my other videos way back a year ago. Pete, to those who want pieces of the community. Let me go find it. It's the exact name. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, to those who want pieces of thug and thought culture, you all want the Tatiana dream. You guys fit in that category. You want pieces of the community, of the Ados culture, but you don't want to scrub on it. You want to hang out on MLK in G Street Southeast, but you don't want to hear gunshots. You want to hang out on freaking name a place in South Central and don't want to deal with being punked by Mexicans. You want to deal with going into Southside Chicago and not have to worry about dreadheads, about guys with mop heads. You want to go to Brooklyn in the Bronx, parts of the Brooklyn in the Bronx, and not have to worry about stop and frisk. Well, I'm telling you right here, those things are incongruent. You can't have one without the other. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. How many people we got here? 39 people in the chat. Yeah. I was going to do this last night, especially considering the fact that everybody was like, oh, we're going to war with Iran. We're going to war with Iran. All right, America. I mean, you got one of these, one of these conservatives talking about, like, hey, look, I know Iran does not want to smoke America. America will go in there and make Iran a freaking parking lot. We'll make Iran a freaking glass house parking lot. Because they don't want USA. Are you going to fight? Are you signing up? Are you signing up? And I don't mean signing up to talk trash on YouTube. I don't mean signing up to cook some Iranians on the internet. Are you signing up for the armed forces? Because if not, stop talking as if you are. Look, and then obviously we got to take it back to the community and those who want the Tatiana dream, or those who are pissed off because they realize they'll never be part of that Tatiana's dream. You'll never be her select. You will never have enough game. You'll never have enough swag. You'll never have enough juice. That kind of juice. So, just to give you all a perspective of my life in a sense. I mean, I've already spoken enough about my life to the point in which I'm looking at some of these guys funny as if they're going to try to pull something off. And to that, I'm like, you know what? You wish you could have half the life that I could, or that I have, actually. But for me, it was never about being bullied or not fitting in per se. It was more about the resistance I had from being myself. Now, yes, one of the things that, and I have to give him a shout out. I know some of you guys may feel a certain kind of way about it, C Boogie, or about him and C Boogie, but he says that a lot of people, what makes the difference between someone who's educated and doesn't get bullied or picked on, and someone who is educated and does, is the nervous energy. And I'll be honest, for part of the time that I was in the community, the energy was more nervous than not. But when I started getting out of my shell and started having less of nervous energy, a lot of the BS did, well, I wouldn't say stop, because, I mean, obviously when they were babies, kids, they've been taught a certain kind of way, mainly by their daggle mothers and absentee fathers, absentee pookie fathers, or simp fathers who basically go by the daggle script, which is what we saw a lot of on that Sunday Rumble. Shout out to all you pro wax out there. Hey, you won't come to this channel though. You won't pop up here though. You make all sorts of streams though, but you won't pop up in this territory. But yeah, the nervous energy that some of these guys, thinking black men, have does make you vulnerable. Now, me, for instance, I had straight A's, talk white, but throughout, I'd say a majority of the time that I was in the community, I didn't have the nervous energy, or at the very least, I didn't show the nervous energy. And while that didn't help with my popularity, it did help when it came to avoiding a lot of so-called targets of being bullied. Or whenever someone tried me, I checked it at the door. I got into more than my fair share of fights. I had a lot of people call me, "Oh, don't mess with him, he's crazy." I mean, they love throwing that crazy word around just because a thinking black kid stands up for himself. Because they don't expect thinking black kids to stand up for themselves. See, and I'm not just talking about the badass kids. I'm talking about the Daggle and Maggle administrators who run these predominantly ADOS schools, ADOS ran schools. Because, we need black power, we need black business, and black neighborhoods, and black schools, black administrators, black teachers. But yeah, it's weird to see a black kid who isn't a baby kid stand up for himself whenever he's just trying to get by so he can get the hell on, because he realized that even during his single-digit years, he was stuck in a pile of shit. That's how I can describe the community. A pile of shit. And I'm sorry. I apologize for one thing to the community. I apologize for realizing what the crap conditions I was in at an early age. I apologize for that. I'm sorry for that. Because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been as rebellious against the so-called rebel culture as I was. And as I still am to this very day. And shout out to Doug with the $5 super chat. Let me put that on there. I got to do this from here because StreamYard doesn't allow you to do it on your phone. Let's shout Doug $5 super chat. First super chat of the night. As I said, super chats, or if you want tax-free way, we can do there's Cashapp, PayPal. No obligation. We're not e-begging here. Trust me, I got my own job or two. But yeah, as far as that's concerned, who do we got here in the chat room? Let me see what's going on in the chat. Let's see. 46 people watching. Man, I better start buck dancing. If we get up to 50, I may start buck dancing for this World War III. Let me start buck dancing for World War III if we get to 50. Come on. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, she's jealous, dude. You know what? Simpdeck G secretly wants Santa. I'm reading because this is good. This is good stuff, man. We're about to cook. We are about to cook. Let me see. Let me go on ahead and let's put that up. Let's put that up. All right, Synthetic secretly wants your dude. Every dude she goes out with, she goes out of her way to talk to you about, usually a guy she finds attractive and wants to be with. She just hides with regression. That, you know what? See, the reason why I brought this comment up is because I faced my fair share of these chicks who they wouldn't know how to express themselves. They wouldn't be like, hey, Xanatos, just, you know what? I'm like mad nervous, and, you know, I have a crush on you, and I want your bod, like that late 90s commercial when they started selling body washes for men. You all remember, you probably remember that. But yeah, instead of saying hot bod, nice bod, I want your bod. Like white chicks said back then. Oh yeah, they were saying it to you, dude, back then. Instead of saying that, they were like, what? Sound like a bunch of hens. Talking all sorts of daggle razzle. But in reality, they wanted it. And trust me, I knew. Some of them were even bold. They even nutted up. They overread up and said it. And I made sure that, you know what? All right, fine. Just don't. Yeah, anyway. Look, the point is this. I know how people like her operate. It's all good if she wants some. You know what? I'm going to say here. Do not make me. And I repeat this. Do not make me take one for the team. Because I see a lot of you babies kids out there talking all sorts of trash. Talking about, man, I wouldn't want her. I want her wig. And I want her nasally voice. And shut up. Some of these guys out here, I wonder if they want her. And if I have to take one for a team to get her for the sole purpose of neutralizing her from talking trash about the manosphere, then all you are getting cooked. Everyone's getting cooked. And Trick Lessons Podcast with the $4.99 super chat. Stop clowning World War III. Stop clowning World War III. My America. My America. Yeah. Let me see any other good comments. Any other good comments we got here? You know what? Let me see. Okay. I tried to listen to the Air Force, Army, Marines, College when I was single and childless, but they wouldn't take me because I was in an F1. Oh, that sucked. You know what? Hey, Xanatos, King Simba, and Ever Innocent are really coming up. Hey, shout out to those guys. Shout out to SYSBM. Let me see. Should have took you back then. Shout out G Lowery. Hey, G Lowery, if you want to get on here, if you want to come ahead and cook that daggle who was she wanted your bod. Oh, I want his bod. That was some sexual beef. That was some damn sexual beef if I have ever seen it, especially towards G Lowery, man. Look, I mean, yeah, they were trying to cook me earlier, but they were not allowing G Lowery to get a word in edgewise. I'm not sure if G Lowery was able to get on the show, on the Daggle show earlier, on the synthetic Daggle show earlier, but yeah, as far as that's concerned, look, him and anyone who wants to speak up, step up, yeah, come ahead. Let's do this thing. Let me see. What else? Who else we got in the chat? See, I'm just going to do the club podcast. Yeah, hey. Let's talk about that for a bit. Let's just talk about that for a bit. See, this is the reason why outside of a few individuals, was that someone with a super chat? Okay, no, that's just someone. All right, outside of a few individuals that I associate with on the internet, which, by the way, G Lowery, I don't think we've ever been in the same podcast. So, if you want, I'm not summoning you up here, but if you want. But as far as these other dudes, these Bebe's kids out here, let's talk about these Bebe's kids for a second before I get back to my friends, my YouTube friends who are obsessed with these daggers. What's with these guys out here who are constantly trying to show off for women who don't respect them? You have these beyond Bebe's kids who, I can't even call them Bebe's kids. These are beyond Bebe's kids. These are just Bamas These guys who will show off, will go out of their way to throw their fellow men under the bus, all on the behest of women who aren't worth it. Now, if you're doing this for women who are worth it, I mean, that's one thing. If you were doing this because somebody roasted your wife on the internet and you went ahead and cooked him and called him all sorts of fantasia, okay, whatever. I don't care about that. That's fair. That's all fair, and that's all part of the Geneva online rules. Hell, even we all know who. I can't come. His name rhymes with. Well, his name's right here. What the hell am I talking about? But even his boy George Macon, he has enough sense to play by the YouTube Geneva Convention rules. You see, this is an actual war. I mean, you can't play nice and you can't play proper with guys like him. Guys like him, You're going to have to do some guerrilla warfare tactic stuff because that is how far low they're willing to go to get guys like us. At least guys like George Macon, okay, you can abide by the Geneva Convention, and whoever wins, whoever loses goes on trial. Okay, whatever. But other guys, no, they Oh man. Let's trigger them some more. I saw that, Don Calypso. I saw that. Hold on. Oh, you guys can read that. You guys can read that yourselves. But if we get Xanatos with G. Lowery, Edward Henderson, and Japanese 1-1, it'll be light skin to take over in the B1 crowd. You know what? I might just do that just to trigger some people. I might just do that to trigger some people. G. Lowery's is like, give me about 5 minutes. Okay, we may have G. Lowery come over, so I'll watch out for your link. But in the meantime, exactly. Well, exactly. But in any case, on back to, I really don't have enough energy right now. I mean, I don't have enough energy particularly for these maggles and daggles because you know why? Unlike certain individuals who hate the community and hate the daggle because she didn't lick his pee-pee when he was 13. Look, I'm not going to go into that, but I didn't have those problems, particularly outside the community. And even inside the community, a lot of it was in secret. Yes, a lot of it on the surface was like, boy, you ain't shit. Boy, I ain't never. All these women, these girls, I should say, throughout high school, when I was in high school, who would talk trash about me in front of their friends, in front of the popular kids, and I would just walk as if whatever. I was like, whatever. These were the same females who, after school, tried to sneak over to my place, like they were in the Underground Railroad, like they were doing some Mission Impossible espionage, Metal Gear Solid style kind of mission. You know, those sneak tactics, those covert tactics, all the way to my house. And then they will be singing a whole different tune. That's how a lot, well, not even a lot, but quite a few, the proud, the ones who, let's just say these are the females who didn't end up being single mothers. Even though I may not keep in contact with a lot of them at this point, all these women who I dealt with, they aren't the ones who are having to fear the cuts anytime soon. "61 people. Shit, I'm out the coon. Hold on, I'm out the coon. I'm about the coon for World War III. So, 61 people just watching. Oh man, let me go ahead and start cooning for World War III. Because I don't know about you guys, but Donald Trump, he's my president. Watch it. B1's gonna take this and they're gonna loop this and they're gonna be like, yeah, he's conservative. He's like the other guys. Donald Trump, he is the best president all time. and he is going to take. He done did it. He done did it. Obama didn't do it. W didn't do it. Just like even Clinton, even slick Willie Clinton didn't do it. He did a lot, but he knew this. When they had the opportunity, they couldn't take down Kurama, Musolani, Wasabi, Soleimani. But Trump did. Trump. And you know what? Because of that, Iran ain't trying to fuck with us. Iran ain't trying to fuck with us not because we got the Humvees, we got the F-16s, and we got the M16s, we got the UAVs online, we got the friendly choppers on the way, friendly airstrikes on the way. You got the F-130, A-130. We got the AC-130. Damn it. And we need to. We got that tactical nuke inbound. Turnkey. Because America, fuck yeah, we going to war, y'all. We going to war. And Soleimani he ain't gonna like it. He ain't gonna like it. Beyond the grave with Space 72 virgins in hell. Damn Muslims, I'm telling you. They don't know Jesus. You know what? Those savages don't know Jesus. If it would have hit them in the head, if Jesus would have hit them over the head with Tennessee Williams bottle. But the point is this: a lot of you all are still going back to the subject. A lot of you all are still worried about being select, being non-select. We got that. Exactly. Being select, being non-select, being acceptable towards these hoes. Why do you care? Why do you care when a daggle daggles? When a daggle dags? Why do you care when a maggle mags? Why do you care when a baby's kid be a baby's kid? I mean, it's just Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese's is where a baby's kid can be a baby's kid now. Don't you notice it? Like every other time I hear Chuck E. Cheese in the news, it's over some World Star hip hop level kind of stuff. I'm serious. Why? I'm surprised Chuck E. Cheese hasn't gone out of business. I mean, how can you live in a world where Toys R Us went out of business, but Chuck E. Cheese is still kicking? I mean, I remember back in the 90s when if you were a kid, if you were my age, in the 30s, even in the 40s maybe, or maybe 20s, if you told me that you were taking me to Chuck E. Cheese, or rather should I say Toys R Us, followed by Chuck E. Cheese, I was good. I was in heaven. I was straight. Particularly if you bought something from Toys R Us. I mean, and it had to be good. It had to be at least a Sega Genesis or PlayStation or a Nintendo game, at least. But you told me those two things. So to a kid, those two things back before the turn of the 21st century. We're straight. You would have the best behaved kids on the planet. And yeah, I mean that's how it was back then. But now I live in the world. We all live in the world where Toys R Us is out of business. Any of us who have kids from here on out, especially if they're at this point, if you have kids from here on out, they aren't going to know what a Toys R Us is. But Chuck E. Cheese is still in business anyway. Let me see who I got wanting to come online. G, all right, I got you, G Lowery. Hold on just a second. Well, let me get G Lowery in here because I mean, I can roast for a bit, but it's always more fun. Really? It's always more fun when you have people roasting with you. Let me go ahead, send the link to him right now. Let me go ahead and do this because I know G Lowery's going to have a couple of things to say when it comes to the Pookie and the Daggle and all that kind of stuff. So let me see. Exactly. Okay. All right. All right, let me see. Let me see what else. Who else is here? Okay, all right, cool. So G Larry, I just sent you the link. So feel free to hop on wherever you can, because we got at least 60-something people here right now. Let's see. It dropped there. Okay, 51 people. Oh yeah, 51 people. Okay, okay. The Negro juice isn't strong in me today. I apologize. Oh, and look who it is. Let's see who it is. And let me get him on the stream right now, because I feel the Negro juice fading out there a bit. That Negro juice, I mean, hey, look, I admit, I don't have as much Negro juice in me as I should, or the coon for about 50 or so people. But here's the thing. Some of us, Derek, Jack, some of us have jobs. And we can't stay up all day and all night listening to your diatribes. I know you love keeping our names in your mouth. Now, I know that you all love just pushing us in your arguments somehow, some way. One, because of content or the lack thereof that a lot of you have. Because check this out. Whenever they talk about people like myself, G. Lowery, Solo TV 84, co-host Snow Bunny Sundays, other individuals, they can go on all day. They can roast. They can roast. They got plenty of that nigga juice to roast. But when it's talking about pro-act stuff, unless it's like a current issue, unless it's like freaking little Day getting drive-by a bunch of white kids with super soakers, or being shot in Call of Duty, yeah, they'll talk about that for like a day or so. But other than that, it's like, what are we gotta talk about? More squabble stuff? But yeah, you love keeping our names in your mouths, one, for content, and two, especially in this case, light skin supremacide. Hashtag light power. Light power. Light power, G. Lowery. Light power.
Hey, what up, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's good?
Man, hey, so you sat there and watched that whole video from Taz and Cynthia?
I saw bits and pieces of it, but the one problem was, unlike those two, I had these three things going on. These three things got in the way of me watching the entire thing. A J, an O, and a B.
Yeah, that was they had kept asking me, come on to the live stream. I'm like, chick, I'm at work right now. Like, I actually got to make a living so I can pay my bills, because I don't have time to be sitting around on YouTube jingling my cup for coins, man. I mean, listen, dude. I did a video. I was responding back to them because I noticed Taz made a video talking about me, like either earlier today or last night. It was like 3 hours. Then the Cynthia G video was like another 3 hours, and Taz was on both. So I'm like, who got this kind of time to be on YouTube for 7-8 hours a day, bro? I mean, unless this is your full-time living, then I can see that. But I don't see Taz's views. They're not like sky high like that, unless he's just getting like mad donations, like Yvette Carnell or some of these other pro-blacks, Tariq Nasheed. I just don't see how this is possible for somebody to literally spend all their time on YouTube every single day. Like, how else are you making money? Does he have a business operating out of his house? I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not really interested in investigating their lives beyond the stuff they admit to on YouTube or whatever. But the thing that gets me about them, like, they can sit here and talk about you being an educated lame and how no women wanted you and you felt like you didn't belong. And then they can sit here and be like, oh, you wish you were black. You wish you were white. You just so confused and this, that, and the third. All of that is low IQ nigga babble at the end of the day, dude. That's it. Low IQ, low self-esteem Negro babble. Because they don't have nothing of substance to talk about other than trying to get on here. And if Cynthia G ain't squawking about black men, Taz is running around here calling himself the GOAT. The GOAT of what? being 43, 44 years old, making slideshows on ancient Egypt and antebellum slavery. Like, I don't understand how any of this translates into anything useful for Black society. But then I think, like I said, I've come to this point where I don't think they really have any value to give. So they have to entertain the dumb crowd because unfortunately, there's just a bunch of idiots in Black society that like to hear the dumb crap over and over again. So Taz and Cynthia G, they're speaking their language to them. So I don't know, bro. I don't know what else to say about these people, man, other than I don't know.
You know what? Well, for starters, you have to give credit where credit's due, because these individuals are able to pull off hundreds of viewers in the middle of the freaking day. However, this only goes to prove that the Pookie, Daggle, and Bebe Kid element of the Black community, for what we like to call the community, that is, if not a plurality, then the majority of Black America, unfortunately.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, because I have the ability to watch YouTube videos at my job too. So I'm pretty sure that there are a whole bunch of employed people who sit around and watch these things on their breaks or in between or whatever the case may be. So, and then I'm not going to say everybody that watches them are just idiots. It's probably some highly educated, smart people who don't think like that. They just watch it because they enjoy watching pure dysfunction being played out in front of them, even though their life isn't nowhere near like that. Like me, I don't live a dysfunctional life. I don't have any dysfunctional values, none of that crap. But I like watching it from other people. You know what I'm saying? I like looking at their dysfunction. Like I said something earlier. I had posted pictures of, yesterday was me and my wife's 14th anniversary, right?
Right.
So I posted some pictures. This picture I posted yesterday, it was probably taken about 5 years ago. And people are like, man, you real skinny. I'm like, yeah, dude, I know I gained some weight when I got out, but losing weight's not the issue. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I said on my video earlier, I was like, there is no way in the world I will allow my wife to get on YouTube and talk as reckless and ratchet as Taz allows his wife Nyla to get on there. Like, I just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my wife isn't into YouTube anyway, but I can't really see myself sitting around at home listening to my wife get all ridiculously ghetto-fied on YouTube, and I'm sitting in the background cheering her on. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I can watch Taz do it, but it can't be my household. You know what I'm saying? I can't have that in my house.
Right. Yeah. Shout out to the Starship Architect with the $10 super chat. Shout out to Xanatos from the 301. And I know exactly where that is. That's exactly Montgomery, PG County, that part of Maryland, or infamous part of Maryland. And if he's showing love with that money, he's probably from Montgomery County. I'm just taking a good guess. He's probably from Montgomery County, because apparently whenever I mention PG and someone was like, oh, I'm from PG, you're cool, bold nigga. But yeah, but Montgomery County, I mean, that's where the thinking Blacks who aren't about the bullshit live, if they live in Maryland, the DC area. But yeah, good points on that. Particularly when you talk about the individuals who are watching, say, Taz stuff or synthetic stuff. But look, these individuals, from what I got from the two videos that they did, 2 live streams, the 8-hour hangout streams that they did, I think it comes to this. It's a combination of, one, jealousy. A lot of these Bebe's kids are jealous that people like ourselves are achieving things in real lives that they can't even fathom. And we aren't even like millionaires, at least not yet. I mean, we aren't even balling out like that. We aren't sitting here in yachts, freaking just going back and forth at them. I mean, if we were that rich, we probably would have more time to go on their panels and cook them. But yeah, we're just living our lives. We're living our lives as tax-paying citizens. And because of that, one, it seems like they're jealous. And two, it seems like they're angry at us for not being on code.
Yeah, I mean, still there? Hello?
Yeah. Are
Oh,
you still here?
yeah. No, I agree. I think that's part of it, but I also think a part of it is just them waking up and realizing that they've become a stereotype in real life. That they haven't actually accomplished anything of significant value that they can actually try to pass down to their kids, or they haven't accumulated any type of assets, something that they can be proud of that exemplifies this pro-black Blackistan fantasy that they all like to conjure up on YouTube. Like, they'll sit around here, the pro-blacks, talk about we need strong families. All right, how many of these people got wives? We need to do better raising our kids. We'll go out there and raise your kids. We need to start a business. Go start a business. Like, why aren't you doing the things that you constantly cry and complain about? So when somebody like you and I come around, we go get our education, or we go learn a valuable skill set, or we start a business and we try to increase our overall lifestyle or earning potential so that we can acquire assets and things that we can start passing down to our kids, hopefully in the form of generational wealth, because a lot of us are first generation removed from the hood. You know what I mean? I was born in the hood. You were born in the hood. My kids weren't born in the hood. We were like the first ones to kind of get out of it or whatever. So now we can actually begin that process. These people are waking up after a lifetime of being a Bonquisha and a Pookie and seeing that stuff hasn't paid off now that they're in their 30s, 40s, or beyond. Now they're just realizing, like, oh shit, my life really isn't on and popping like I thought it was going to be when I was 20. So even though I don't have any other monetizable skill sets that are deemed valuable in society, well, what can I do? Oh, I can go on YouTube and just start talking reckless and greasy and calling myself the GOAT. And I'll attract some people who hit the like button, who donates a couple dollars, and they'll allow me to pump my head up to make it seem like I'm actually somebody in this world. When in reality, the moment YouTube terminates your channel, you got to start from scratch. I've lost 2 YouTube channels. Guess what? I'm not on the verge of being homeless anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Life will still go on. Bills will still be paid. Lifestyle will still maintain what it is, because YouTube, I make enough. I can give my money to my son for his allowance. And, I don't really make a lot, but even if I was making a lot, I don't depend on this. I have a real life outside of this that requires me to do real things so that I can instill that into my kids, and hopefully they can, go on to do great, wonderful things at a way easier pace than I had to do it coming up,
Amen to that. Yeah, amen to that. And I think a lot of this also comes down to sort of a classified. I know a lot of people in the comment section are saying the classified isn't going to address a lot on YouTube. And it's the war between the emergent and mainstream blacks versus the underclass blacks. And well, here's the thing about it. Yes, we may be in a different position than they are socioeconomically, but we all came from the same place. And I just don't get the ire and just the angst that a lot of these individuals have towards people who see us. And this is before we open our mouths and rile them up. I know we both are guilty of doing things to rile up the ADOS scruggle underclass. I mean, I'm doing it right now by just using all these euphemisms. But as far as that's concerned, even before we talk, it seems like we trigger a certain group of ADOS blacks. And it's just our presence alone. If not our presence, then our tone of voice or the way we move or our demeanor, particularly the lack of nigga juice, as O'Shea Jackson came up with, or just swag. It's just all it is. It's basically swag. A lot of that, it doesn't, because I'm surprised. You would think that the lack of swag they would be fine with, because that would mean less people for them to compete for the admiration of the matriarchy and these daggers. But no, it's quite the opposite. These men, the dudes out here, get more triggered when they see a black dude who has no swag, or white boy swag, as our friend stated on that, was in that Rumble. They're more triggered about it than the women are. Yeah, the women will put in the word, but it's like the dudes are like, well, why you gonna swear? Why you call him a white boy? You swear? You swear by me? What? I'm like, why do you care? That's more daggles for you. That's less competition for you. That's one less fellow Pookie. You got to go fight in the Walmart parking lot when freaking Cool Breeze and them's underground nightclub lets out at 2 a.m. That's one less of us you have to face.
I mean, you got to think, dude. I graduated high school in 1998, and I started college, 98, and I was in there to 2002. Back in those days, high school, college, a lot of my focus was on trying to get girls. Like, I lost my virginity when I was 15 years old in 95, and I was just out there just trying to conquer everything that I can get. I was a young man full of estrogen. Testosterone. I don't know where that. Oh, but anyways, testosterone. But just trying to go out there and just do the damn thing, right? At some point, that's expected for every young man. My oldest son is 13. He'll be 15, 16 coming up. I expect him to kind of go through that phase, and he looks identical to me how I was when I was his age, right? But at some point, you got to learn to become and become a man and start taking care of, quote unquote, man business. Well, what I mean is, if you're like 35, 40, 50, whatever, and your number one priority is running around here talking about trying to figure out how can you get women, or why this dude is sleeping with this dude, why is this black person or this white person sleeping over here? To me, that just shows that you never really grew up. You're trying to recreate a second childhood on YouTube. The child, I don't know why. Maybe you were the man that were getting all the chicks in high school, but it seems like you put way too much focus and energy into that instead of putting time, either more time and energy or just an equal amount of time or energy into trying to do something that will set you up for the rest of your life. Because we're all gonna, God willing, we all live long enough, we're all gonna turn old and wrinkly and be the old nigga at the club. You know what I'm saying? We're all gonna be that dude. So when you become the old nigga at the club, what do you want to do? You want to run around trying to police who people sleep with, trying to compete with young 20-year-olds, or do you want to be the old dude at the club who's getting ready for retirement, who's chilling, very little bills, more, hopefully enough money in the bank to carry you on to your senior years, so you're not 65 years old working the drive-through at McDonald's taking my McFlurry order. You know what I mean? Like, where are our priorities at? And a lot of these guys and women, they don't have those priorities. They're not setting none of that up. They are still stuck in this teenage mentality of trying to win a popularity contest. Like, dude, you're 40-something years old. Chick, you're 30, 40 years old. Why do you care who such and such sleeps with? Why do you care what happened when this person was a teenager? As if that is their entire life. Like, you're supposed to grow and change over time. Like, I will be a fool I'll be 40 years old in April. What would I look like running around at almost 40 if I thought the exact same way I thought when I was 20? When I was 20, I lived in the club. I couldn't wait till I turned 21 so I can go buy my own damn alcohol. And when I started buying my alcohol, I was drinking damn near hoping to pass out. I want to feel like what it felt like to be sloppy drunk, throwing up everywhere and passing out. I don't know why, but that's what I was on. I was out there smoking weed I was still going to class in college. I was still doing all this crazy shit. I can't be that dude at 40 years old, man. Even if I didn't have a wife and children, I can't be that dude. Because you know what? In 10 years, I'll be 50. You know what I'm saying? I'll be 50 years old in 10 years. I don't want to be the guy working, waving, greeting people as they walk into Walmart, unless I want to do it because I'm in a financial position where, hey, I just want to do this. Everything else is straight. I'm just here because I want to be here. People got to grow up, but they don't want to grow up. So they just gravitate towards YouTube and try to pretend like we're still in high school and carry on this high school mentality of mental retardation to a degree. And I think they just attract mostly a bunch of young people, because I don't think anybody around our age, like, how old are you, Clutch?
32.
Okay, so you're fairly somewhat younger than me, but Anybody over 30 that has something going on in their life, I'm struggling to believe that they could take people like Taz seriously. Now, they might be able to, or even Cynthia G. Now, they might be able to fool younger people. You know what I'm saying? Like these 20-year-olds out here who are just trying to figure their life out, and all of a sudden they're super woke and they're struggling in life, even though they got an $800 smartphone and $300 Jordans on their feet. You know, oh, life is such a struggle. Whatever, nigga. You know, they might be able to fool some of them, and then they might be able to fool some of these older people who were former Pookies and Ray Rays who can't run the streets as hard as the younger Pookies and Ray Rays. But everybody else, they just tune in for the entertainment and to laugh at these people, man. But unfortunately, the YouTube doesn't have a metric system that allows for you to figure out who is watching you just to laugh at you versus who is watching you because they honestly believe in you. All you see are the numbers. I got X amount of people sub to me. I got X amount of people watching me live. So you think I'm the man out in these streets. When in reality, let's just say you got 100 people watching you. It might be 75 people pointing and laughing at your dumb ass because they just like to watch ignorance and dysfunction. You know what I mean? And they'll support that. But we don't, unless YouTube comes up with a way to measure that type of stuff, they'll always feel like they're the man and the woman because they're now getting all the attention that they more than likely probably never got in high school. I mean, let's just keep it real. Like, I don't know what type of person Taz was back in high school, but I struggle to believe that he was the ladies' man in high school. Now, he might be one now because his face is all over YouTube and he's getting all this love and attention. And Cynthia G might feel like she that chick now. I struggle to believe that they were the man back in high school, or the woman back in high school back in the day. And they want to talk about somebody like you being passed over. I think it was a complete opposite way around. Now, they may have been on some Pookie shit, but they were probably, you know, we always had Pookies in high school. You had the wannabe D boys, you had the pretty boys, and like I give this example in high school. I was in high school in the 90s and I was in 11th grade when Biggie and Pac were killed. So I was old enough to comprehend that era really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had a bunch of pretty boys. I was somewhat a pretty boy, whatever. I used to be polo down like a mug, but some of the real dedicated pretty boys, they were the ones polo down, fresh to death, got all the chicks, and failed damn near every class. Then you had the dope boys out there who were sometimes they be in class or they used to be in class hustling, whatever. A lot of them dope boys, unless they were just like on the verge of dropping out of high school altogether, the ones that were still going to school, they really weren't pulling chicks like that, man. I mean, at least how it was back when I was coming up. So I failed to see Taz being that nigga back in the day that he wants everybody to believe that he is today. I just can't see it because if he was that nigga back in the day, he wouldn't be sitting here on YouTube at 40-something years old trying to convince a bunch of people he don't know online that he was that dude back in the day. That's how I see it. But
No, you bring up a good point. And these individuals who are trying to pose themselves and show themselves as the select of the community, the guys with swag or the people who have the juice. Yeah, well, let's just focus on the guys with swag because, I mean, that's the thing. You think a lot of individuals who had that swag back in high school or who had that game, who was select back in high school, if they were so select back in high school, in elementary school and middle school, if they got all the chicks, if they got all the women who gave them gifts during Christmas or placed something in their folder during Valentine's Day, all this other kind of stuff. If they had all of this going on, why is it that they need to go on YouTube, of all places, and one, tell us or act as if they were the man, and two, lord it above everybody else who they deemed as individuals who weren't select or who they deemed non-select just because of this arbitrary community measurement called swag and game, all this other kind of hood shit.
That's because they're like Al Bundy. When Al Bundy used to tell his stories about how he threw four touchdowns in one football game. But then you look at Al Bundy's life in the present time when the show was on, he was just a dude selling women's shoes and then going to no ma'am events. But But when Al Bundy got real hyped and wanted to reminisce, he'd be like, remember that time I threw 4 touchdown passes in one football game? And you're like, Al, but dude, you're like 40, 50 years old. You mean to tell me the highlight of your life was a high school football game? So that's what they're doing. They're trying to give out, they're trying to tell these stories about their highlight film when in high school, when you should be showing us your highlight film in real time at the age you are now, what you're doing at your current level in life now, or where you should be in life now in terms of what society deems as a successful black man or woman. They don't have it. That's why they got to keep harping on, I was the man, I was getting all the girls, and I was this. Like, okay, maybe you were. What does that prove? Look at the women that you got with. What are they looking like today? You know what I'm saying? I showed my wife. Y'all want to know a little secret? My wife is 2 years older than me, y'all. And people was in the comments, damn, your wife fine. Damn. Nigga, my wife 2 years older than me. You know what I mean? So what are the chicks looking like that y'all were getting with back in the day? How many babies they got? How many STDs they got? Where they living? Are they in Section 8? Like, are these chicks even like, okay, there are some chicks that I dated in high school or I messed with. I would never admit that I messed with these chicks because how they look today at 39, 40 years old, it looked like two completely different human beings. So they're like the chick I lost my virginity to. Fine as hell back in high school. Today, there is no way in the world I would ever let anybody know that is the chick I lost my virginity to. Life hit her hard, bro. Hard. I'm just like, God damn, what happened? So do I really want to run around bragging on that? Now, if she still look fine as hell today, I might be like, yeah, that's what I lost my virginity to. But no, it was something in high school, dude. You know what I mean? But my thing is, when are you gonna stop reminiscing over your glory days of being Al Bundy? Assuming you had them, and start showing people what you do now. Like people always say, you always brag about the stuff you got, your degrees, and I'm like, listen, I don't get on here just to brag. I get on here to try to dispel this myth of this woe is me bullshit. Like you can't go out there and do something to make something of your life. Like when people be like, you always talk about your house you live in. I'm like, well, because maybe some of y'all don't actually know that you could probably get a house like this or bigger than my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm not running around here in every room, you got freaking gold chandeliers like Masterpiece House on MTV Cribs, but I'm just saying, if you stop with this woe is me bullshit and start believing in yourself that you can actually go out there and accomplish something, you could probably get something going on in your life, man, instead of, looking like Taz with the wood panel walls. I don't know if you saw that video. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, bro. I just don't think at this we're officially. Well, I'm about to officially cross the threshold of being a middle-aged man. Taz is about 3 or 4 years older than me. I'm just trying to understand, why does he think like we're 16 years old? Dude, we're 40. We're in our 40s, rolling into our 50s. Like, what? And you're still reminiscing on high school? What is this dude talking about?
We are, and you're about to hit 40. Chaz is beyond 40. The synthetic has 6 kids by 7 different pookies. And we are talking about all this game and swag and juice and select stuff, while we are supposedly headed into a recession, supposedly headed into a world war. What's with the priorities of the community?
I mean, the priorities of the community is going to remain the same. Doesn't matter if we're in a full-blown recession or we going to a goddamn depression. It's still going to be the same thing. Listen, I went to Tuskegee University, y'all, 98, 2002. Book started by Booker T. Washington. Y'all go read this book called Up from Slavery. Booker T. Washington is basically like his autobiography of how he started the school and all that. There's this one section in the book Booker T. Washington was talking about at like either the late 1800s or the early 1900s, right around the turn of the century. He said even back then, when dudes was only making like $4 a week, Booker T said there will be a whole bunch of dudes from the community back in the day who would take half their money, $2, go rent a horse and carriage, like literally a horse and carriage, and just to drive up and down Main Street to be seen. And we're talking about in the late 1800s, bro. They were doing this back then.
Oh, so they were front and back in the late 19th century.
Go read it. Go read it. Up from Slavery by Booker T. Washington. He talks about Pookie and Ray Ray back then, bruh. I'm talking about in the era of Reconstruction, you know, right before Jim Crow kicked off, when, you know, black people were supposed to be, you know, on hopping and popping. I mean, there were a lot that were hopping and popping, but we still had a serious Pookie class back then.
Ooh.
Hasn't changed, bruh. Booker T called it over 100 years ago. Hasn't changed.
And shout out to the Prophet of Thought series. Hey, look, Brother Savior, Prophet of Thought, if you want to get on the panel, let me know. I'll send you an invite. As a matter of fact, I'll put my email in there. But yeah, as far as that is concerned, look, these mediocre Negroes, these baby's kids, I, at this point, am not surprised at anything they do. We could be in outright nuclear war, like a nuclear winter can occur due to this foolishness that we have of all these so-called leaders leading us to war. And these mediocre Negroes will still find a spot wherever they can. And we could be communicating via walkie-talkies and having all sorts, like the only form of communication we have with the outside world are walkie-talkies. And what you will find is a group of mediocre Negroes talking about how much swag they got, how much game they got, and how much the soldiers who fought in the war, World War III, and died, how much lames they were, how big of lames they were, because they didn't speak with swag or deep bombast in their voice, or they had a white or an Asian or a Latina or a cooperative black chick as a wife.
Yeah. I mean, truth be told, that goes on in the military right now, man. Like, you know, I was in for 13 years, active duty. I deployed twice. So I know all about combat, getting shot at and all that crap. But, you know, even when we weren't getting shot at, I seen this stuff happen downrange, and I seen it happen in garrison. Garrison is basically stationed in the U.S. on a base somewhere, where there were Pookies in the military, even though they're doing something, but they still have that Pookie mentality to where they are obsessed with who somebody's sleeping with. Why is this black chick mess with that white dude? Why is this black dude messing with that white chick? Oh, I ain't gonna mess with that black bitch. Or if the white chick come around with the black girl, with the sister girl haircut, they hating on the white chick. You know what I mean? That was just like everyday talk everywhere I went. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I don't know if you guys know, there's you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Have you seen, you ever see those videos those people share of some of those Army vets making those stupid Army comedy videos? And there's this one chick named Amuse, black female drill sergeant.
I haven't seen that one, but
well, she's like really popular. Anyway, she and I used to be stationed together. Like, I've known her since forever. She is engaged to a white dude who I think is in the Army. But when she announced that she was engaged, oh man, she had all kinds of haters, black men and black women hating on her. Now, before she made the announcement, they all was cool. They be laughing at her stuff. Ha 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 ha. He you funny, because she's like a genuinely funny person. But when she showed that diamond ring, and it was like, I'm dating this white dude. I know who the white dude is. We all used to be stationed together. When she showed that diamond ring, now granted, this white dude is a little, I mean, he's cool, but he's like a little goofy gamer, nerdy type of white dude. But he's still a cool dude. Like, I've known him for about 3 or 4 years as well. But for people who didn't know her outside of Facebook and they saw that, oh, they flipped. So they reverted back into the community role, even within the military. So that element, it runs deeper than just us thinking that the community mentality only exists with people who actually live in the community. You have people that will leave the community and still drag that community mentality with them. Like, another example, the black chick from North Carolina that hit the lottery for like $80 million. And she was the only winner, $80 million. She still was dating her boyfriend that was a drug dealer, bailed him out of jail. He got out of jail. He started using her money to buy dope. And she bought this house, this nice elaborate house, had this big fancy pool. She wouldn't even hire anybody to clean the pool till well, it started turning green and mold and with algae and crap all over it. It's because she couldn't abandon the community. The community was ingrained in her for so long. Like, I believe it's a turning point. I believe once a boy or girl hits 15 years old, I believe you have a fork in the road you got to make. Either you're going left towards the community mentality, or you're going to start veering away from that shit. And there's no coming back, whichever path you go. So unfortunately, a lot of these people, even though they may mature, some of them may go to college, military, try to get their life right, hit the lottery, whatever. If they don't abandon that community mentality at around the age of 15, they're done with, dude. You know what I mean? They might be glittering on the outside, but on the inside, they got that rotten stench of the community inside of them that is going to eventually drag them down over time, no matter how on and popping their Instagram may look.
Yeah, true that. And yeah, as far as that community mindset, I noticed that like 14, 15, that was like your teen years. That is when you see the individuals who are pro-community, community for life minded versus those who be thinking black men, thinking black women, and the ones who go in the thinking direction, the ones who conform, well, not conform, but go against the conformity, against the stereotype, who rebel against the so-called rebellious culture. A lot of us pay for it in certain one way or another. But as far as that's concerned, yeah, I mean, the community is going to be the community, which is why at this point, that is why people like myself don't even waste time and energy with these individuals. And the only time I really do go on panels, such as what O'Shea hosted, is to really prove a point. And the amazing thing is that the point I wanted to prove was through me not even saying much, honestly. I mean, yeah, you had you had fantastic at cooking and doing all this other kind of stuff, and that's fine. But as far as I saw you cooking, shout out to you, and shout out to your service as well. Definitely salute here. But as far as that's concerned, look, the community is going to be the community regardless of what happens, what recession, what war.
Yeah.
But I do have a couple of questions before we end this off. One, let's get to some light-skinned supremacy. and that you have this Daggle and her Dagglettes trying to roast us in the comment section, talking about G. Lowery's this, and Xanatos is that, and this, that, and the third.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be off code? Would it be off the radar if I accused her and her ilk, or at the very least some of her ilk, of having some sort of sexual beef? Answer that question. I'll be right back. Just a sec. But yeah, go ahead and.
What do you mean, sexual beef in reference to? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by sexual beef.
Basically, that they want us.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah. Listen, I try not to get into this whole colorism thing and people hating on me because I'm light skinned, but I know people like to say light skinned dudes went out in the 80s, and I've never experienced being out of style. Now, I'm not saying that to be conceited or cocky. I'm just saying it because my life, I've never had an issue pulling chicks of any spectrum, whether it was some dark skin all the way down to a super light skinned chick, whatever the case may be. So I don't know where this comes from, but where I think it might come from is whoever this Daggle was, assuming that she's a dark skinned chick and she's talking greasy like that, it's probably because she knows that she won't get chose by somebody like me or you. It ain't really got nothing to do with our light skin. That might just be a front, but the reality is she probably can't get chose. And I highly doubt even a good-looking dark-skinned dude like a Tyson Beckford or something like that will be choosing on this chick. Because chicks that have confidence, they don't have to run around here talking greasy like that. You know what I mean? About somebody they don't think this person's attractive because of their skin color, blah, 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 blah. People who are matter of fact, a great example. Everybody likes to talk about this chick, Chrissy. Nobody knows what she looks like, but she's always crying on YouTube about colorism. And I think it's because the chick probably ain't that attractive. Now, there's a female out there. What's her name? She was in some rap videos back in the day. She's popping on IG. Real dark-skinned chick. Fine as hell. Somebody, Go Keezer probably knows who I'm talking about. Because, damn, what's her name? I can't think of her name off the top of my head. But every dark-skinned chick that is actually attractive and has confidence, I never see these women crying and complaining about colorism, whether it's in relation to light-skinned women or whether it's in relation to them thinking light-skinned dudes ain't all that and they just want them a chocolate Mandingo warrior or some shit out there. You know what I mean? They just go out there and live life. You know what I mean? They just go out there and live life. Dudes be sliding in their inbox and then they have their pick and chooses. The only people that cry and complain about this are people that can't get chose. Yeah, Bria Miles. That's who it is, Keezer. Bria Miles. That's my imaginary side chick. Bria Miles. I might listen. I might have to sacrifice my marriage just for one night with that chick, and I come back and tell her like, I'm sorry, I had to do it. But that mug is beautiful. I highly doubt you'll ever see her crying and complaining or making remarks about light-skinned dudes. Because she could probably go out there and get any light-skinned dude, dark-skinned dude she wants. You know what I mean? These chicks that cry and complain in the comments, they're just in the comments, bro. And if you were to see them in real life, everybody likes to be like, I'm fat. Shit, I love to see what some of you fat ass people in the comments look like. Y'all think I'm fat and ugly. I guarantee a lot of y'all got me beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
let's see some Bria Miles picks right quick for the audience because
Bria Miles is that thing, man.
I'm about to prove these pro wax wrong. Let me see. Go ahead, Bria Miles, because I just saw some images of her. Oh, okay. Yeah, these are legit. I see why. I see why you would risk your marriage. So give these individuals the satisfaction. How do you screen share? Do screen share? Do barrel roll. Do a barrel roll right quick. Let's do a barrel roll right quick. And let's have let's just have pictures of her. Oh, dude, yeah, this one's like, okay, yeah. I
mean, do you honestly see this chick talking reckless and greasy? Come on, man. This chick is beautiful, dude. I don't care what nobody say. And listen, I have more of an attraction towards light-skinned and brown-skinned women, but this chick is freaking gorgeous. You think this chick got self-esteem issues or crying about colorism? Hell no.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. And I mean, I run a show called Snowboarding Sundays, for goodness sakes.
And you know what's so funny about Bria? She posts some pictures of what she looked like in high school. She was like the nerdy chick in high school that people overlooked.
Oh,
like she put some on her Instagram a couple months back. Dude, she literally looked like the chick that probably got overlooked. Like nobody really paid much attention to her. Now look at this chick.
Oh yeah, she came up. She came up. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But no, actually, you sort of described a lot of the chicks I got with. Remember, you said like a lot of chicks you got with before were chicks who were banging back then, but as of right now, chicks I got with, particularly those that within the community side, those were the nerdy kind of chicks, the chicks who were like pretty average or whatever. All right, I got my fair share, but a lot of them eventually came up, and now they look freaking stunning. I got to give them credit. Granted, a lot of them are taken, but yeah.
But it's the same thing with the dudes. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I was like super nerd. I like to describe myself as I was cool with the cool kids and the nerds. I was like in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I can go out there and do a little pooky stuff, but I still go home and do my homework. You know what I'm saying? I was like that dude. You know what I mean? But even some guys I know that were like more on the nerdy side that couldn't get chicks. You know, the same way these girls, you know, they go through their ugly duckling phase and turn into the beautiful swan like Mia, like Bria Miles here. It's the same way with some of these dudes. These dudes that was in high school doing their homework, they weren't getting invited to the parties, or you know, they were just on some stereotypical nerd stuff. Some of these dudes actually grow up and become the man out in these streets where you might be working for these dudes, or they might have the high paying job, or they go on to college. And then next thing you know, they're in college and their brains are somewhat more appreciated in college as opposed to high school, because now they're around hopefully a bunch of other potential intellectuals. And then they start coming into their own in college, where they start. Matter of fact, that was exactly how it was when I went to Tuskegee. Man, we had a lot of dudes at Tuskegee back in the day that were just certified straight nerds in high school. But when they went to college, and then some of them chicks saw how smart they were. Oh, you can help me pass this physics class or this calculus class. And then they're in there spending time in the library, doing homework and hitting them with the goo eyes. Some of them actually went on to marry some of these bad chicks. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of you got to get around who you're comfortable with. And obviously, if you're in high school, you know, you're going to be struggling to compete against the Pookies and Ray Rays. But once you get out of their element, because you got to remember their element is only what, a 5-6 block radius for the most part. Most of them don't ever really venture out that radius. Your element could be literally the entire world. You go like I went to college out of state to Alabama. I'm from Florida. Then I went into the military. Then, you know, that sent me to the Mideast and other places. So I got exposure all over the globe, you know, for the most part, all over the country, you know, part of the globe for the most part. A lot of these dudes I was in high school with that were on that Pookie and Ray Ray shit hard, a lot of these dudes never really left the state of Florida, bruh. They never really left Central Florida unless, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then they're still in and around the way, not too far from where they grew up at, where we originally came from. You know what I mean? Not saying that they're out there doing bad, but they never fully blossomed, like, you know. So
yeah, I definitely feel you when it comes to that. As I said, and that's the thing that a lot of these B1s, Pro X want to sell you. If you aren't a Pookie or weren't a Pookie back in the day, then you were some antisocial, educated lame or a freaking incel. Whereas you're seeing, and hopefully the manosphere sees that there were a lot of people who were in between. You got people who were slightly more towards the quote unquote Pookie side. You have people like yourself who could get along both sides. You're just cool with people. You even said you tore it up. You can tear it up like Pookie, but you showed up to work the next day or showed up to school the next day. Yeah. So people like myself who lean more towards the thinking side, or I dare say nerd side, but still we knew where our lane was, and we knew where we were select, and we knew where we could, you know, just have our own form of ravish. I mean, like, look, trust me, you want to see me in action in high school? You bring a chick over and with some Mario Kart, some GoldenEye. If they were nerdy enough, some freaking Unreal Tournament, some Halo. Oh, try or put on some Saturday Night Adult Swim, that Toonami, that anime. Oh, trust me, I knew what Netflix and chill was like before Netflix was a thing. All right, we didn't need Netflix in our day. We had plenty of good stuff on cable TV. I knew where all the anime channels were, where all the good shows were, all that kind of stuff. So I was good in that department. Granted, was it with the high school Big Booty Bonquisha? No. But to be honest, I didn't care for Big Booty Bonquisha. I didn't care for these little Instagram hoes that all these mediocre Negroes and Bebe's kids thirst for or get angry over because they didn't invite them to high school prom.
Nah, I did. I chased Big Booty Bonquisha. I was addicted to it. You know, here's the thing. I don't have any older brothers, right? And then on both sides of my family, I'm the oldest male cousin or the oldest male grandchild or whatever. So I had to look up to my quote unquote big brothers were my uncles, my mother's younger brothers. And they were the greatest example of Pookies I've ever seen in my life. Like, especially in particular two of them, my Uncle D and my Uncle V. My Uncle D, he's about 10 or 11 years older than me. Then Uncle V's like 12 or 13 years older than me, right? I grew up as a young kid idolizing these dudes. They sold drugs back in the 80s, even though I didn't really know what they were doing. But all I saw was my Uncle V, Uncle Vincent. He had the big dookie rope gold chains, the 4-finger rings, the Kango like LL Cool J. My uncle, he was like really big and muscular, and he was known as the neighborhood bully. No, like literally, he'll punch people and knock them out. Like he was on some Debo type of shit. And then his younger brother Donald, he was, like I said, he's like a year or two younger than Vincent, but Donald was more on some he might potentially kill you type of shit. Like, and these were the dudes I looked up to. But as I started getting older, especially when I went in high school, and I started looking at their life, I was like, damn, they sure do spend a lot of time in prison. Like they're always in prison. And so there was this element of me in high school where I used to reflect. I remember when I was younger, they used to just all these chicks come around my grandma's house. It was always a different chick over there, man. And then they were using me as bait to attract these chicks. You know what I'm saying? Like they even admitted the crap to me later on in life. Like, yeah, we used to bring you around because these chicks like light-skinned babies. And so they used to bring me around, and the chicks would come over there. Ooh, this baby is pretty. And this, they slipping and sliding in some drawers. So when I got old enough, I remembered that, and I was out there trying to get all these women like they were getting them. And then I was kind of, trying to dibble and dabble in, do I want to be a Pookie or do I want to do this? But the thing I could never get out of my mind that prevented me from going full-blown Pookie and focusing on my homework to where I ended up winning a scholarship to go to college was the fact that they spent so much time in jail, man. I couldn't shake that out of my head. Like, how am I going to sit here? I cannot get Big Booty Brenda if I'm locked up in jail. Like, I wanted Big Booty Brenda. I didn't want a wife. I just wanted to see what them cheeks felt like. But how would I get it if I'm in handcuffs, locked up with a bunch of dudes? It's not going to happen. So that's kind of what prevented me from going down that path, because Big Booty Brenda, I never wanted to marry her. I was damn sure wasn't about to put a baby in her, but I wanted to be one of the dudes who got to brag and say, "Yeah, I had that." I mean, I was just me,
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And before we go, just one more question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
So this is the stream. Well, we sort of diverted to roasting and cooking, and that's fine by me. I want to know if these dozers out there will play this stream, because unlike some synthetic individuals, we keep streams up over here 90% of the time. But there are a couple of guys on YouTube who I would say are on our side and are thanking black men, to be fair. But I noticed that a lot of these guys are the same individuals who will make 4 to 8 hour hangout streams, basically either talking about, the Daggle and what she's doing wrong, or about how, game and swag, and they lament over not having game or swag, at least hood game or swag, and they basically make these damn near, I don't want to say begathons, but damn near cryathons, going off of just a bunch of rage about how, well, I can't. It's just a bunch. I'm not going to mock them because they are. At least I consider them allies within the manosphere. What do you say about individuals who focus on guys who lament over the women that they can't have, the women that they're struggling with, or the swag and the game and select, all this other kind of stuff, and even guys who are on the other side who may be slick boosting themselves because they quote unquote have the juice? So what's with all of this? And we're in the midst of towards a recession and a possible war with Iran.
It's priorities, man. Dudes have got their priorities in the wrong, thinking about the wrong thing. I mean, I guess I would have to see how old these dudes are, because I'm not going to pretend like, let's just say I rewind the clock back to when I was 22.
They're around our age.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're around our age and, you're still lamenting over who's getting what women or why these people can't get these women, and, I'm assuming I'm assuming you're talking about a couple some fairly popular YouTubers out there that I name drop on my channel. I don't know if you name drop over here, but but
you name drop at your own. You can do your own.
Yeah, okay, but well, whatever. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what you're talking about. But I just, if they're our age and older, I guarantee most of their audience is a bunch of young people. You know what I mean? That probably gravitate towards that because some of these young dudes may be actually going through some issues with women. And I blame this mostly on social media because I tell people all the time, when I was a teenager and in college, we didn't have social media. You want to go out there and get with women, you had to go out there and actually open your mouth and speak to them and learn how to get rejected until you figured out what worked. You know what I mean? Today's young guys, they're growing up in the era of social media where like this image we got of Bria Miles on the screen. They see this all the time on Facebook, Instagram, blah, 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 to where they think that this is just the norm. You know what I mean? Now for her, she really looks like this, but a lot of these chicks be filtered up and dolled up. And then they see other people getting at these chicks and they think, well, this is just how it's supposed to be. Not knowing that you might need to fix you first in order for somebody like Bria Miles to want to choose up on you instead of you thinking you just automatically deserve these chicks. So you have some dudes out there like the old man or the angry man and all them. They'll be out here talking all this stuff, right? They know better because they're older. Or at least I would hope they know better. But you got to remember, who are they talking to? You're talking to a bunch of dudes who just grow up in this world that really isn't real. Meaning, yes, obviously the women, Bria Miles is a real woman, but you're experiencing her through your smartphone or your computer. You're not actually out there running up and speaking to the real quote unquote Bria Miles of your neighborhood who might look like her because you're scared. You've never learned how to speak to women without the aid of a smartphone or something like that. Like all your communication is through banging the heart button, banging the like button, and sliding a DM. You don't know what life is like to run up to a chick, spit game to her, and whip out a pen and a paper to try to get her to write her phone number down. But then you get back home and y'all on the phone with the squiggly cord talk, or you tell her, hey, let me call you back after 9 o'clock when my minutes are free. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what life is like that. You know what I mean? So I think social media is the blame for why we got so many of these, I guess you call them incels out here, and some of these other dudes who just whine and cry and complain about women. And then that's a golden opportunity for the Obsidians and the Angry Mans of the world to come in and just cash on this, because now they can bring their quote unquote old man experience and talk to these young guys. But the disconnect is they're bringing the old man experience because they have the experience of what I had growing up, where we had to actually speak to women face to face, make sure we had a Tic Tac in our mouth, we nice and clean, smelling good. You know what I mean? These young guys, they don't know what that life is like. So I wouldn't really say it's a bad thing that they're lamenting on it. They just figured out how to make money off of it because there's an audience out there, and they know that their audience more than likely is never going to get with the program because they didn't have to grow up in an era where they had to speak to women face to face like that, like I did.
Like, or even like I did. I mean, let me go ahead and like even I did, and you brought me back to memories of freaking you can only speak after 9 p.m. on about the minutes, and was it 5 cents per text message for 10 cents if you sent it or something like that. Yeah, I remember those days. I mean, granted I was a teenager, but there was still an element of having to be social and having to to put your foot out there, put some effort out there. Mm-hmm. Granted, times were changing. Black Planet was around, as was MySpace when I was in high school. And trust me, I learned pretty quick on how to pick up chicks on those venues. Okay, maybe not Black Planet, but MySpace, most certainly. Come on. I'm just seeing guys our age who are basically making all these hangouts. I'm not talking about as I said, the Obsidians and Angry Mans who know what they're doing, or doing this for money or whatever. And that's fine by them. No hate here. Get your money. But I'm seeing the guys out here who are legitimately like they're speaking as if they're taking this shit to heart. It's like these damn daggers.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're developing. Dude, they found a form of evergreen content. And most of this evergreen content, for those of you who don't know what evergreen content is in the chat box, that means it's content that's never going to get old. It's always going to be somebody searching for this type of stuff. So as we progress further and further into the age of social media and technology, and this stuff gets more and more advanced, I seen something the other day. Some company made some robot dolls that look like real people. I'm talking about look like legit real people, bro. Can talk and everything. I mean, this is where we're headed, bro. We're headed to an era of relations being developed strictly through computer screens instead of face-to-face interactions. That's going to bring for somebody in our age group who know what life was like before the smartphone and before social media. That's evergreen content. So Obsidian, Angry Man, and whoever else is out there, listen, they're probably doing it for the money, but at the same time, they know that there is an endless supply of people who are in high school right now, will be graduating high school, going to college, who just grew up in an era of pure social media. They don't know how to interact with women. All they know how to do is slide in DMs. And if, they're afraid of getting screenshot, or they think it's cool to be sending dick pics out there, and they just don't know how to interact with women. So I don't knock Angry Man. I mean, sometimes I think it's absurd, the stuff they say, like they coming down on like they trying to throw women back into the 50s. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I don't know if they're purposely doing that, but I'm like, that's not going to work with these young cats who grew up in this era where they see these women out here doing whatever they do. They live in their life. They can be independent, or they can go out there and choose whatever dude they want just by, taking a picture of their ass and putting it on the gram or something like that. But it's just, they do it because there's just an endless supply. There's a 5-year-old out there right now who will be 20 years old in 15 years, who will be going through the exact same crap some 20-year-old is going through right now. And 15 years, Angry Man, Obsidian, everybody else will be 15 years older, still talking the same thing. And the message will still be hitting the exact same way to this 5-year-old who'll be 20 in 15 years. You know what I mean? Because of the times we live in.
Yeah. And these are some amazing times that we're living in. I mean, and actually, one last quick question before we go.
Yeah.
Will World War III and Order of Secession lower the select bar? Will it lower the bar on how select you have to be, or how much spike you have to have, or how much game you have to have in order to get, especially in order to get big booty Becky, big booty Bone Quisha?
Will it lower the select bar?
Yeah, because like a lot of these select guys are like you gotta be up here, you gotta be out for showpiece, and you gotta make your chest jiggle like your breast.
I think the bar might get lowered, bro, because if a real recession hit, like back in the early 2000s or whenever the hell it was, it's gonna be a lot of people who are unemployed. Yeah. Which means you might have to give up the gym membership. So now you can't be in the gym getting your chest muscles all big. You have to figure out how to do it in your house now by doing 100 push-ups. You might have to cut back on the Jordans and the Gucci belts and all that stuff. And now the D-boys, they might be out. They might start winning again because they're never gonna go out of business. You know what I mean? So the standards might drop. I think the standards might drop, and some of these chicks might, they might get some of these non-select dudes, but not the non-select dudes that we're accustomed to thinking of. We're probably thinking about, when you say select, the dude, you look at somebody like C Boogie, who likes to go around, I guess, present himself as a select dude. He's in shape, he's young, single. I'm assuming he got money, he's prior military, he got this, that, and the third going on. And then you compare him up against, some random dude out there on YouTube who ain't got all that going on. You're like, well, that's the non-select. Well, what happens if C Boogie loses his job during a recession and struggles to get a job? You know what I'm saying? Or, I'm not saying that's going to happen with him, but you know what I mean? What if some of those things that helped him become select go away, and now he's running an even race with the non-select dude who didn't have all that stuff going on? But what if the non-select dude got a little hustle game going on? He out there selling sacks of weed or selling bootleg this, that, and the third. And while C Boogie trying to go out there and find him a regular 9 to 5 or try to get his business up off the ground, the non-select dude who's ugly, You know, he got a steady income customers buying up his little incense and shit like that. So now Big Booty Brenda might be like, the non-select dude can take care of me during this recession. You know, holler at me when the economy turns around, C-Book. You know, it might be on some stuff like that because your looks ain't gonna carry you. You know, women, they're gonna want to be with the dude who got money, whether you believe you're select in the terms of attraction or not. They're looking for the money. You know, a lot of these chicks are.
So you're saying people like our boy Taz will become select in this recession or war?
It depends. It's a possibility. It depends. If Taz, like I say, if we all lost our jobs and our finances and our investments were damn near wiped out like they were back in 2008, by default, we're all going to be dropping down to that level. Like if I have to put my house, if I can't afford to pay this mortgage on this house and my bank account gets drained because I can't find a job, by default, I'm coming down to Taz's level. There's nothing I can do to control it unless I can get out there and find another job, or well, I'll be straight. I just go overseas as a contractor because during wars is when contractors get paid big bucks. But for those who can't do that, they're gonna come down by default. And so unfortunately, Taz might, depending upon what he got going on, his street skills that he worships and praises so much might actually come in handy for him during that era to where he becomes the select dude. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's kind of how it goes. Now, will he be on some? I guess you can equate this to the mobsters back in the 1920s during the Depression. When they were the man out in these streets because they had access to all the bootleg stuff and they had all the money and they were getting all the girls. Now, will Taz be like that? I highly doubt it. But anything's possible during a recession. People get desperate, bro. People get desperate and make desperate decisions. So it might be in his benefit for a full-blown recession to come his way.
I don't know. The thinking black man, educated lames of YouTube, they may get triggered after hearing that. They may make a 5-hour hangout stream about what you just said within the past 10 minutes, and they're going to be like, well, I don't know if that's going to happen because if the world ended and if World War IV came, then how will people like Taz be able to fight off against the so-called peckers he talks trash about? But I will have trust me.
See, the thing about these thinking black men that think like that, their problem is that's all they know how to do. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be thinking black men, but if a recession hits where everybody's being financially devastated, you got to be able to be a thinking black man and also have a bit of Taz in you at the same time to survive. Like you have to figure out how to get both of that in. Ideally, I think the so-called quote unquote perfect dude, would be somebody who has elements of a Pookie in terms of hustle and drive. Some of these Pookies are, unfortunately, some of them are ambitious. They just go about the wrong path. They are ambitious and they have hustle. You need to have some of that grittiness in you with an equal or greater balance of thinking black man juice in you. And unfortunately, I like to think I'm in the middle, but on the internet, it just seems like it's either you're one way or another. You know what I mean? And I think you got to find a nice medium because you're gonna need that to survive when things are getting rough. You're gonna need to tap into your Taz / Pookie element a little bit without risking going to jail or doing something that'll fuck you up for the rest of your life. But you need to have I need to be able to tap into some of that stuff my uncles used to do when they were hustling. Some of the stuff that they inadvertently taught me that I dibble and dabble with here and there to a certain extent, but not go overboard with it to the point where I end up being locked up in jail. Because what good are you at thinking if, let's just say, an EMP bomb came through and wiped out all electricity? We back in the Stone Ages and shit like that. What good are you thinking as a thinking black man if you don't know how to go out there and get it on and go out there and build a fire in the woods to keep warm, or go out there and hunt some damn squirrels or deer? You know what I'm saying? Do something that you got to do to provide for yourself and or whoever that you're tasked with. Pookie might be able to go out there and get it, but can the thinking black man who just thinks that all they need is their brains and that's just going to carry them? That's cool, but your brains are useless if you don't know how to take that knowledge and apply it in real time in something meaningful that even the lower people who you don't think are as smart as you if they can't understand it and apply it. So I think you need that nice medium. So that's what, if you thinking black men get offended by what I'm saying, I'm just speaking from reality, bro. That's the real world, not the internet, where you need to be a nice blend of both of that to a degree. So,
I mean, exactly. And since we're mentioning names, I mean, regardless of where you stand on this freaking thinking black men versus select versus now you got the thinking black, what was it? You got SYSBM versus whoever. And it's like, I mean, you're going to have to need a bit of everything, especially as we go down the line. I mean, you're going to need a bit of Xanatos's knowledge when it comes to money. You're going to need a bit of G. Lowery's knowledge when it comes to technology, IT, picking up stuff like that. You're going to need a bit of, what was it, Game Changers IT knowledge, or maybe Taz's roughneck knowledge on how to survive in the streets, or MOT's knowledge on just business, or C Boogie's knowledge on how to talk a chick out of letting you stay at her place for a few days, or Edward Anderson's knowledge on how to talk people to sleep so you can sneak through something so you can get somewhere, just in case shit happens, just in case shit hits the fan. You're going to need everyone, all of us in this who are watching. We will need, and this is how it should be in regular life in general, but there needs to be a balance where we recognize the benefits of knowledge of being thinking black men, as well as the knowledge of having street smarts, having a bit of that street cat cunningness to you as well.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think that's the way you should always be. Even with Pookie and them, I know we like to talk about them as the low rung of society. There is something that you can still learn from Taz that you can apply in your life to benefit you. No matter how ridiculously hood I think this dude is, I think everybody, even there's something you can learn from a Cynthia G that you can pull from it. Assuming you can make it past listening to her squeaky voice, there is something from everybody that you can take and try to apply it. And I think that's the best way to, especially if you're a black person in this country in relation to the historical context of this place. I think you need to be able to pull from all these various elements of black society, whether it's the hoods, the squares, the nerds, the SYBMs, the whatever the hell is out there. You know what I'm saying? There should be certain little elements you can pull here and there that, in case all hell breaks loose, you can try to figure out how to survive, or you just put it in your toolkit and pull it out whenever you feel like you need it. So, if you're like a thinking black man, let's just say you attend a martial arts class and you out here on some Bruce Leroy shit in the martial arts class, knocking people the fuck out all the damn time. But when you come out the studio, the dojo, everybody looks at you like you a nerd until somebody tries you and you mess around and break their damn arm or something like that. Then it's, what I mean? You didn't go out there expecting to do that, but you had to pull it out if you had to use it and let people know what time it is. So now, instead of them looking at you like a square, they might be like, oh, snap, yo, that's that. Yeah, he's smart, but he might mess around and kill you with his bare hands type of deal. You know what I mean? So I think you need to pull from everything that you can pull from and, toss the bad and just pull out what you think is actually useful. And, yeah, you can even pull stuff out of Taz and learn something from him.
Yeah, exactly. And, all right, before we go, we got AM1 in the building. Shout out to him. Let me know if you want to get on quick, because we're about to end this, but if AM1 wants to get on, we can start what I will deem as light-skinned supremacy. And I'll just name this whole damn stream light-skinned supremacy. Because I already have, between you and him and myself, we already have half of light-skinned supremacy. All we need left is we need Curie in the house, Kiriake Jones, shout to him. We Don Sharp, get Jap here, and even get freaking Edward Anderson to finish us off with the infomercials and just have him. Well, he's gonna have speaking for like the majority of the time anyway. But with light skin supremacy nonetheless. So with that, I'll let you go ahead and have any last statements you want, just in case AM1 doesn't want to show up.
Yeah, I'm about to get off anyway because I gotta go tap dance for the white man in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, my channel is G. I'll type it in the chat. It's G Lowery.
Go ahead, spam your channel in there.
Yeah, well, I'll just type my name. Y'all can click on whatever. But that's my channel. That channel is really, for those of you who don't know, it's really just a channel that I'm just there just to run my mouth and talk crap. Like it's nothing serious. I do a lot of joking, clowning, mostly at pro blacks and stuff like that, and Pookie and Ray Ray. But a lot of them take it to heart. I don't care, but I'm just there just to run my mouth. I do IT. That's my background. So I actually have other channels that I'm working on content for where it'll be serious stuff. Because I don't want to be just one of these people constantly complaining about the community or whatever. I'm going to actually put my version of a solution together to help people who want to potentially climb up out of the community and try to make something of their life. So I'm going to start teaching IT. Now, if IT ain't for you, then, you got to find somebody else to give you something else. But that's all I know. That's all I'm good at. You know what I mean? So, because I believe that there are solutions out there. I don't believe I don't believe in this woe is me crap. There are legit things tied to racism and, elements of white supremacy, but we don't live in the 60s. We're not on antebellum slavery in a plantation. We actually live in an era where you as a black person can go out there and do something if you want to do it. So that is what I put that message out there, because it's the polar opposite of pro-blackness. What was me shit? It's like, take control of what you actually can control. Like clean your own house first before you start trying to go out there telling your neighbors how to take care of their shit. I'm on some stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so that's what I do. And you can find all that great stuff on my channel, G Lowery.
Nice. And everyone who's subbed to me, you'll love G Lowery. He goes in and cooks the community as much as I do, if not more. And especially due to the fact of him being biracial, technically, because we're similar in skin tone, but I'm technically not biracial. I'm predominantly black, believe it or not, predominantly ADOS, believe it or not. But yeah, he goes in just as much as I do when it comes to the former rotten corpse of the so-called black community. So if you want, listen to a couple of that. And also, if you're looking to get your IT stuff up and up, go ahead and follow his stuff. He'll have plenty of content that I'll be looking out for as time comes.
Yeah.
But in any case, thank you for joining me, G Lowery. Thank you for taking your time out. And everyone else out there, thank you for taking your time out, listening to this live stream. All you guys who came in, who's up via O'Shea, I especially thank you guys. I'm up at 3,700 subs. As I said, I'm not going to do the rate, comment, subscribe thing, but if you guys want, go for it. If not, it's no sweat off my nose. And everyone else out there, always bet on X. All right.